Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias.
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What looking at you, give me funny lad.
Grammy Award winner Maya joins us.
How are you?
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat, Brad Gilmore.
And he joins me right now. We're talking about The Company You Keep, the new drama that's on right now, airing on your television screens. One of the stars of the show joins us again, Mr. William Fichtner. Will, how you doing this morning?
Just excellent. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's so great to talk to you because, you know, I think that you've been a part of so many of my favorite shows and movies and just so many memorable performances. So it's always great to talk to you. Let's talk about The Company You Keep, because this show, when I saw promos for it, when I saw the promos for it, I said, this is a show that's made for me. I love the spy stuff. I love the secret agent things, the drama of the show. Talk about what attracted the project to you.
Well, it's a story that follows Milo Ventimiglia, the actor who plays Charlie, and I'm his dad. We're a family that owns a bar. I have a daughter, I have a son and a wife, and all fantastic actors. And the bar is our family business, but it's really a bit of a cover for something else. We're a family of grifters, and so every episode is a different journey. And I knew from the pilot episode that you know, I believe if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. So well-written material is the key. And I thought the pilot script for this show was one of the better that I've ever read. And that's what you look for, you know, I mean, because listen, if it's not good, and odds are it's not going to get much better. If your basic premise doesn't really grab you. And when I read this pilot, I thought, oh, this is a journey that I would absolutely love to be a part of. Not to mention the fact that Milo is playing the lead in it. And though I'd never met him before, I'm a big fan of his, and he's a great guy. He's one of the producers on the show, and I knew from the get-go that he was going to be our band leader. And it's just been nothing but a really positive experience, period. I hope we get to do it again in another season.
Oh, I'm sure that you will. I mean, critics love this thing. Audiences love this thing. That's a rarity in anything nowadays, that people are actually saying how much they like something.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
So,
I know. It is.
You just mentioned something right there. Like when you heard Milo was a part of it, you knew you were gonna, want to do it because you're a fan of his, and then you meet him and he's a great guy. That actually comes into play, like when you're choosing a role, right? Like, because with a television show, it's not like a movie where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this indie for 6 weeks, or I'm gonna shoot for 30 days, and if I don't like everybody, we'll be able to get through it. But with a television show, you got to be able to see seasons and legs in this thing, right? There has to be a camaraderie amongst the cast.
Well, this is part of how this show came together. When Milo got a hold of this material a year ago, long before we shot the pilot, it was really important to him. He wanted to get this picked up, produced, and make this pilot because he literally finished This Is Us after 6 seasons. And after 6 seasons on a show with a crew that's pretty much intact, that's a very well-oiled machine. And he finished This Is Us literally a week and a half, 2 weeks later. We started production on the pilot for The Company You Keep. So it was the same crew, we're talking, maybe 100, 150 people of a well-oiled machine. They came right over and started this. And then when this show was picked up, we have that same group. So Milo's real familiar with everybody. Awesome group of people. And then we step in as new actors for this new project. And there is a difference. You feel it on the set when you walk in and everybody has a shorthand with everyone in a good way. It's very positive. Not to mention, listen, there's always got to be somebody out there that puts that first step forward. And if it's a positive one, it reverberates everywhere. And that's just Milo. He just lives like that. And he brought that to this. So, the day one that I walked on set for when we started shooting the pilot, I felt it, and I'm like, this is the kind of place you want to be,
Oh, I hear you 100%. Now, I've heard you talk, though, before, like, when you get a role, you want to be able to make sure that you have time with it to kind of get into that character's mindset and understand the layers of the onion, if you will. And the character you play, Leo, has layers to the onion. Did you get to spend a lot of time with the character kind of before you showed up on set, like you like to do?
Listen, the most fun that I have is there's an old wood shop off my garage when we bought this house, and my wife was like, "Oh my God, I could do a million things with that room." And I'm like, No. The house is yours. This room's mine. So I got my man cave, and this is where I spend my time, where I'm sitting right now, to think about things. And to answer your question specifically, I've always felt really good scripts. The more that you read them, the more that you see in them. And Julia Cohen wrote the pilot for this, and I knew right from the get-go, there's something really special going on here. There's a lot of plates spinning. I love what's happening. I love the character. So I just needed as much, and I did have enough time. Yeah, I did have enough time because Milo talked to me about this maybe a month before we started shooting the pilot. So after I read it, I just said to my, representation that I'm absolutely up for this journey. And then I had a chance to meet Julia and Milo. I had a good month before we began to really think about it. And, by the time we started, and the truth is, you know what? I'm one of these actors that I still learn something every day about the guy, stay open. And it's a process that'll go on and on and on. And the writers help with that whole journey, but you got to let your imagination go, and good scripts can hold it. They can hold all of your thoughts. And I think that's what we got going on here for everybody who's on the show.
The Company You Keep is airing on ABC. Make sure you don't miss it. You can check out streaming on Hulu as well. Let me ask you this, because when I saw the promos for the show, I have to go back to that because I saw them well in advance, and there's a scene, I think, between the two leads. They're standing there at the bar kind of conversing with one another. It gave me a lot of James Bond energy, right? The kind of that Milo has that James Bond leading man energy. Are you a Bond fan? And if so, like, who's your go-to Bond? I just want to know this for my own records.
Listen, no disrespect to the Bonds over history, but I think this is an age appropriate and dating me sort of thing. But I got to go back to Sean Connery. I just feel like that was Bond at its peak. Though I have watched some of the more recent Bonds, and Daniel Craig's pretty great. I don't think I've ever seen a Bond film along. There was Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, right? Roger Moore.
Yeah, George Lazenby.
I don't know if I've ever seen a Bond film what's that?
George Lazenby played it for one time, right?
That's right. I was just pulling that one out. But I don't think I've ever honestly seen a Bond film where I thought, well, that didn't work. It's the Bond journey that you really sign up for.
Yeah, I agree, but I also agree that Sean Connery is the best to ever do it. I think everyone's just trying to reach those heights. I agree with you, Will. William Fichtner joins us right now. The Company You Keep is airing on ABC. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Congrats on the show. Critics love it. Fans love it. Audience listening right now, y'all will love it. Mr. William Fichtner's great in it. William, thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Take care, Houston.